Daniels. The time now is 4:30 on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at your full forecast. So yesterday we did deal with a few downpours out there, but it didn't really amount to a whole lot. We've only picked up a few hundredths of an inch at BWI yesterday, and we're about an inch below average for the month of May as we're nearing the midpoint of the month. But we'll take any amount of rain that we can get. Here's a glance at 24-hour rainfall totals across central Maryland. Areas right around Westminster picked up about a quarter of an inch, a little bit over a half an inch right around Cecil County and also across Queen Anne's and even Kent County as well. Down towards Edgewood picked up close to an inch of rainfall, and then rainfall totals started to drop off the farther south and east you went. But here's a look at radar, still showcasing a few light showers that are trickling through the region. Some drizzle out there back off towards the west of the bay, traveling through not only Rockville but also Germantown. We have a cold front that's sagging down to our south. This is actually going to keep the chance for a few showers around as we head into the rest of this morning. Early afternoon, it's still expected to linger, so I would have the lunch indoors today and have the kids grab the rain jacket on their way out the door as they head out to the bus stop. By 3 o'clock, most of this rain activity will be focused down to our southeast, especially around southern Maryland and even portions of Virginia. But then gradual clearing is expected. We'll start to see those clouds gradually erode throughout the day. High pressure builds into the region heading into the day tomorrow. It is going to set the stage potentially for a late season frost or freeze across the western half of the state tonight, as temps are going to be dipping down into the 30s and 40s. But then Wednesday, this is the opportunity where we could get in on some more beneficial rain, courtesy of a cold front that's going to slide through later in the day that could produce not only rain but also some gusty thunderstorms. Still, about 90% of the state is suffering from severe drought concerns, so we desperately need the rain. And today, not only is it Monday, but it's also National Eat What You Want Day. You don't have to tell me twice. We are going to be dealing with some morning clouds and even some drizzle out there, but then conditions really start to improve. Later today, we should be rising back into the mid and upper 60s for most. We're starting off in the 50s this morning. The 70s will stick around. I'm meteorologist Stevie Daniels. The time now is 4:45 on this Monday. Let's take a look at your super 7-day forecast because we have some light showers and even some drizzle that are trickling through the area this morning. So I would tell the kids to grab the rain jacket, maybe even the rain boots before they leave the house, because as the bus picks the kids up, we'll likely be seeing some of those raindrops. And it looks like some of that rain extends even into the middle part of the afternoon, right around the middle part of the day as well, with overcast skies. And then we'll really start to see some clearing take place later today as the bus drops the kids off. And that's going to help our temps climb back close to average. Most of us are going to stay in the mid to upper 60s this afternoon, though. But then we plummet down into the 40s tonight. It's going to make for a pretty chilly start to your Tuesday. However, we have lots of sunshine expected throughout the day tomorrow as high pressure builds back in. This is going to help us rise back near 70 degrees. Then Wednesday, this is going to be a little bit unsettled. So if you have any outdoor plans, you'll need to keep checking radar because it could encounter some gusty thunderstorms later in the day as the front moves through. A high temperature of 73. Behind that front, we drop a little bit. The time now is 5 o'clock on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at satellite and radar right now. This is a look at the cold front that actually moved through yesterday. It brought some brief downpours along with it. It didn't amount to a whole lot in terms of rainfall over the past 24 hours, but there were some areas that picked up between a half inch to an inch of rain, so it was largely beneficial. And we have more rain back off towards the west, moving through not only Kentucky, but also West Virginia, entering Virginia this morning and even across the state of Maryland. So here's a glance at radar returns. Right now, picking up on some very light showers that are trickling through Washington, D.C., out towards Rockville, and even setting up shop across the lower end of the Eastern Shore, closer to Cambridge and also Salisbury. Most of the rain that we deal with throughout the first half of the day will be more focused to the southeast, but some of this rain could actually clip the Baltimore metro. Again, we'll take any amount of rain that I'm meteorologist Stevie Daniels. The time now is 5:09 on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at your full forecast. This morning, we are waking up to some damp pavement out there. Some light showers are still continuing to trickle through. Over the past 24 hours, we picked up some rain, which is great news considering the fact that we're still suffering from ongoing drought concerns all across the state of Maryland and even all across the mid-Atlantic region. So areas farther south of Chestertown didn't pick up a whole lot, but right around Severna Park picked up close to 1/4 of an inch, about 1 inch near Edgewood, and even across southeastern portions of Baltimore County, and about a 1/2 inch of rain from Cecil County down towards Kent. Here's the glance at how much rainfall we picked up at the airport. Not a whole lot, just a few hundredths of an inch. So that places us about 1 inch below normal so far throughout the month of May, and we are nearing the midpoint of the month. We desperately need the rain. Severe drought concerns plague the majority of the state, nearly 90%. The latest drought monitor map, that's a look at it, but the updated one will occur on Thursday morning. So of course I'll post that on my social media pages. Just some light showers that are trickling through the region this morning, building in from west to east, clipping Rockville, Germantown, places like Annapolis, and even a few light rain showers are trickling through not only Talbot County, but also Caroline and farther to the southeast. And yes, we have the potential for rain today throughout the first half of your Monday. It's likely going to extend into early afternoon before we start to see some clearing on the backside of this cold front, with some clearing skies across our northwestern suburbs by 2 to 3 o'clock today. We still could encounter a few rain showers along the eastern shore during this time, but most areas are going to be dealing with dry skies as we head into this evening. So right around 5 to 6 o'clock, the rain pretty much should be out of our hair. High pressure builds back in throughout the day tomorrow, yielding plenty of sunshine. Increasing clouds into your Wednesday, and then during the afternoon, some not only rain showers, but also some gusty thunderstorms can be expected as that front charges through. So we could get another round of some beneficial rain midweek. Today, this morning, we're starting off in the 50s for a lot of us. We should be rebounding back into the mid to upper 60s today as we increase that sunshine. So love to say that, but then we are a fabulous weekend. We had a few downpours yesterday that made their way through, all because of this cold front. And you can see it is sagging down to our south, but still producing some rain showers on the backside of Baltimore Metro, and stay mostly focused down to our southeast, closest to the cold front. A few lightning strikes being detected across portions of West Virginia and even Virginia right now. But here's a look at the rain showers. The coverage is slowly starting to increase, looking very widely scattered in nature. But if you are heading out and about over the next couple of hours, or even later on this morning into early afternoon, you need the rain gear. It does look like for the most part, Frederick and Carroll County stay primarily rain-free, but the kids will still want to just grab that rain jacket just in case. We have that drizzle extending into the middle part of the afternoon, and then for the bus ride home today, later today, it's not looking too bad. We'll start to clear out those clouds, and we will be dealing with some sunshine later on this afternoon into the early evening hours. Back over to you.
Stevie, thank you.
It's a lot of water, not that much sugar.
So we need to drink more coffee.
Yeah.
Moderation, Stevie, moderation.
Moderation is key. But you know what we don't need in moderation? Rain. We actually need a whole lot of rain because we've been so dry lately. We only picked up about a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall over the past 24 hours at BWY. We did encounter a few downpours out there yesterday. I was eating some crabs outside, and then the rain just started to come down in Timonium. Across the area, right around central Maryland, over the past 24 hours, there were some areas that picked up about a 1/2 of an inch of rain to an inch of rain closer to Edgewood. It looks like the totals were a little bit larger around southeastern Baltimore County, extending over the Bay waters and even across Kent and Cecil County. So that's where we saw the majority of the rainfall take place. But then totals started to drop off the farther southeast you went. Still dealing with that severe drought. I know I sound like a broken record. I'm going to keep showing this drought monitor map until it updates on Thursday morning because we do desperately need the rain. We have some of it moving across the region right now. Widely scattered rain showers, some pockets of some moderate to even heavier periods of rain associated with this little batch of rain showers as well. It looks like the rain activity is a little bit heavier farther to the west of Washington, D.C. And it looks like the coverage of rain could increase as the morning moves forward. So have those windshield wipers going. The kids will want the rain jacket as well. But it looks like the focus of this rain is primarily going to be around southern Maryland and across the lower end of the eastern shore. By 2 to 3 o'clock, we have some clearing on the backside of this cold front. The cold front's really associated with all of this rain. It's the culprit for it. But we will start to see some breaks of sunshine later on this afternoon into the early evening. All spots should be dry by 5 to 6 o'clock. High pressure builds back in heading into your Tuesday, yielding lots of sunshine before more clouds return into your Wednesday. And here's a look at some of those rain showers and gusty thunderstorms that we have on our doorstep heading into your Wednesday afternoon and evening, all because of the another cold front that's going to swipe through. So this is going to bring us beneficial rain, about a ½ inch to an inch. That's what we can expect. But today is National Eat What You Want Day, one of my favorite days. You don't have to tell me twice. You definitely could chow down on whatever you want to eat. I would eat indoors, especially this morning, but then maybe you could take the late lunch or early dinner outside, as we are going to be dealing with some clearing taking place. Back in the 70s, pretty much, we are starting off a little bit unsettled. We have some scattered showers working their way through the area this morning. Most of the activity, though, is focused across the southern portion of the state. After 2 o'clock, a lot of it starts to sag down to our southeast. We'll be drying things out, clearing out those clouds on the backside of this system across our northwestern suburbs, and that should help us rise back into the mid and upper 60s later today. We do have some gusty thunderstorms on tap as we head towards the middle part of this week. So high pressure builds in briefly tomorrow. That's going to yield a lot of sunshine, but then we increase those clouds heading into your Wednesday. And here's a look at that line of rain and thunderstorms. This is going to be largely beneficial in the rainfall department. But in terms of severe weather, as of right now, it's looking to be on the lower end of the scale, but across the western half of the state, that's where we could see some localized damaging winds and possibly even some large hail as the core of that system travels through the state. But it does look like we'll really get in on that beneficial rain throughout the middle part of this week, which is great news because the drought just continues to get worse and worse. 90% of the state suffering from severe drought conditions across Virginia, West Virginia, even around the Carolinas. Extreme drought concerns are underway, so hopefully we can help alleviate this. Christy?
Good morning, Steve.
Moving through the area right now, it looks like the coverage of rain is a little bit greater and a little bit more intense across Washington, D.C., through Alexandria, even Mount Vernon, waking up to some light to moderate rain down towards Manassas and even Dale City. And then it's looking widely scattered across the middle and lower end of the eastern shore, so from Chestertown down towards Cambridge and near Salisbury. But the Baltimore Metro, we're dry right now, but the coverage of rain is going to pick up throughout the morning. Here's a glance at rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. I'm going to continue to give you rainfall updates, given the fact that we're still dealing with moderate to severe drought concerns all across the state of Maryland, even across the mid-Atlantic. So we will take as much rain as we can get at this point. Just a trace of rain across north central Baltimore County, right around the Hereford zone. But yesterday, it looks like Cecil County and Kent picked up about a ½ an inch of rain. Edgewood around southeastern Baltimore County picked up nearly 1 inch. So that's really good news. And here's a look at the latest drought. It's also plaguing Virginia, the Carolinas, West Virginia, and the western half of the state. But here's a glance at futurecasts. So widely scattered showers are expected throughout the first half of the day, throughout about lunchtime. So I would eat the lunch indoors today. And it does look like clearing takes place on the back side of all of this moisture by 2 to 3 o'clock. So Frederick and Carroll, even Baltimore County, is likely going to be dealing with this drier air working in. Some breaks of sunshine could be seen later today, just in time for the O's as they take on the Yankees. High pressure builds back in as we head into tomorrow. That's going to give us a lot of sunshine. It's also going to help us warm back up into the 70s. More clouds on Wednesday. A cold front swings through. This is going to bring us our next best chance for not only widespread rain, but also a few gusty thunderstorms. We could encounter some strong winds associated with any of the storms that drift through the area. Here's a glance at temps all across the state of Maryland. We're in the 40s to the 50s. Earlier, there were some areas that were actually starting off in the 60s across the southern half of the state, but not so much anymore. 51 degrees in Ellicott City, 48 in Jarrettsville, Deep Creek. You guys are currently experiencing frost concerns, dealing with a temperature of 42 degrees. Your farmers market planner, not looking bad at all. We'll be rising back into the mid and upper 60s today as we increase that sunshine just in time for the O's game this evening. But as we take on or look at your 7-day forecast, we are going to be in the 70s throughout the rest of when we get over it. I'm positive that we can do it. But today, temps are going to be rising into the mid and upper 60s. We do have a mix of sun and clouds later today. It looks like these showers pretty much clear out of our hair by 2 to 3 o'clock this afternoon. Tomorrow is going to be very sunny. We have temps rising back into the lower 70s. It is going to be a chilly start to the day. We have numbers dropping into the 40s as we wake up. You might want that extra layer on. Back in the low to mid 70s on your Wednesday. It does come with a catch. We do have the threat for a few gusty thunderstorms thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. A cold front is going to bring widely scattered rain showers to the area, which is going to be largely beneficial. About a ½ inch to an inch of rain. That's pretty much what we can expect. And then looking mostly dry later this week with highs in the low to mid 70s. And then looking this year and a little bit over 4 inches since the start of March 1st. So we have really not seen a whole lot of rain here across central Maryland. But this morning, kind of different. We're starting off with some scattered showers drifting through Washington, D.C., also extending into Annapolis. And this is actually going to continue throughout the morning. So if you have any morning plans, you're heading out and about, just make sure you have those windshield wipers going and also you have that rain gear on. It does look like the coverage of rain decreases as we approach the 2 to 3 o'clock hour today. Looking at some sunshine popping through some of those clouds across the western half of the state. And then by 5 to 6 o'clock, we really clear out the rain. High pressure, this big H that you see on your screen right here, this is going to be in control throughout the day tomorrow. That's going to be responsible for yielding a whole lot of sunshine. But then into your Wednesday, clouds will start to increase. And I am tracking some scattered showers out there late in the day on Wednesday. So as the kids are heading home from school, as you're sitting down for dinner, don't even be surprised if you hear some rumbles of thunder. This cold front is going to swipe across the state. That's going to bring us some gusty thunderstorms towards the middle part of this week. And we need the rain. We're still suffering from severe drought concerns. So this severe drought not just plaguing a good chunk of Maryland, but also across the state of Virginia, West Virginia, the Carolinas, and even look down towards southern and central portions of Virginia experiencing extreme drought concerns. So it looks like the drought conditions just get worse the farther south you head. But then taking a look at your planner today, we do have a lot of clouds, some rain showers out there this morning. Most of this will be confined along into the southeast of I-95. But as we get into the later parts of today, we'll start to clear out some of those clouds, increase that sunshine. Temps will rise back into the mid and upper 60s, falling a little bit short of average today because of that rain-cooled air that we have going for us and those winds out of the north. But the O's are going to take on the Yankees today. First pitch is at 6:35. We do have temps right around 63 degrees at the start of the game with a mix of sun and clouds, and then it's going to be dry and cool closer to the 7th inning stretch with temps dropping into the upper 50s. But we will be back in the 70s pretty much throughout the rest of this week. Some gusty thunderstorms.